see you. Good to see you.
There we go.
You got it?
So I just went to the different channel.
My Wi-Fi freezes up.
Is that what we're going to call it this year? Your live
I'm better than my first
Alright folks, just going to wait a couple more minutes, or say less than a minute here. Some Wi-Fi struggles, so we're going to try and get through that.
Any messages yet?
I don't know because I can't see it.
Wait, it says Ben, get out of the picture.
Oh yeah, that was much burning. Yeah, I can't.
Perfect. No question.
Yeah, no
Perfect.
question. Yeah.
Ben, you got a fan on here.
Oh, jeez.
Steve
Oh.
Grant.
All right.
Oh, Black Man Grand, yeah.
All right.
Speedway loves you, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're live now. We got 27 people watching, which actually is that's a good start to the show for us. It may be a record for us. Folks, I'm Toby Batchelor from Claremont Motorsports Park, along with my good friend here and co-announcer George Powers. We'd like to introduce to you one of the co-owners of Claremont Motorsports Park, Ben Bosowski. And Ben, have a good time.
Thanks, guys. I don't get enough drinks to do this, but okay, I'll ruin it if you want.
So we want to welcome Ben. He drove up from Nashua. Came up on Saturday for the Tri-Track Open Modified live show here at Daddy's Pizza and met a couple of people and decided George talked to him in the off season, asked if he wanted to come do a show with us and talk about what he plans to do, you know, with Claremont Motorsports Park, Hudson International Speedway as well. So first of all, Ben, we want to welcome you and glad you're here tonight.
Oh, thanks. Hey, I appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of comments coming in. So it's people are tuning in now, 34 and rising. So
I can only
folks,
imagine.
Send your questions in. Make sure you like this video and share this video. Get a lot of people trying to watch as we introduce you to one of the co-owners of Claremont Motorsports Park. So Ben, your first impression, I know you came up to the track during last year, toured around. What was your first impression of the Speedway or the property first time you went up there?
Believe it or not, I've actually never been there before the first time, which was when me and Norm looked at the property. Norm's been there, we've been there a bunch of times, but I was just amazed at how beautiful the property was. You know, I mean, you know, I'm redoing Hudson right now, so I'm like, okay, so I kind of see how the track's on. I walk there going, wow, okay, I don't really have to do much here. The facility's great. I like the track configuration. It's not just a regular oval. It's a little tricky. Just watching the line, it looks cool.
Now, you got to try that out a little bit today.
Yeah, that's right. Tell everyone that you took your first lap at Claremont Motorsports Park today.
Yeah, I had to kill some time, so I went to the track and I'm sitting there in my truck and go, half the track's dried off, and I'll make a couple hot laps. turn 3 and 4 is a little slick. Just letting you know. Just a little bit.
You know, the Claremont Motorsports Park, this will be our 73rd year in operation there. You know, you working with Norm Wren on the purchase of this property. You know, when the two of you talked about it, I mean, what were you thinking? I mean, you said the property is beautiful, a lot different than Hudson, because when you bought Hudson and when you're doing a lot of repairs down there, we'll talk about that later too. What did you envision between owning the 2 tracks?
Well, first of all, I didn't even know I was going to even own 1 track. So two tracks is just, hey, you know, bonus. You know, me and Norm kind of had a vision for what we wanted to do, because you know I heard stories from what my dad used to do and what a bunch of the old timers used to race, that they could have 1 car and go from 1 track to another, and all you have to do is just change maybe a little bit of setup, because each track's different. And I wanted to see that, Norm wanted to see that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the other racers, they want to see that, so we're trying to make it happen.
Yeah, NHSTRA, you know, you're heavily involved in that. What impact do you think it's going to have for Claremont Motorsports Park as well as Hudson for you?
I mean, you know, I know a lot of guys don't go from Claremont to Lee or, you know, Hudson or Star, but we want to make it so that you can do that. So I think it's gonna be a great turnout for everyone, and you know, especially Hudson being the only Sunday track running. So a lot of people might want to say, you know, I've always wanted to try Hudson. Well, now I don't have to change anything, so why not? I'll try it.
One of the questions I got is, what do you see as your hands-on week-to-week operations at the Claremont Motorsport Park?
Well, like I said, it's 2 hours for me to get up here. Phil Hayes he's basically my man on the ground. I trust everything he says. He's basically like my right hand down there. If I can, you know, what I was gonna do is I was gonna come up Fridays, you know, when I can, and help out as best I can, but I won't, you know, interfere or anything like that, because who wants to deal with this guy? So, you know, if there's something big going on that needs help, I'll definitely fly up here, because, you know, racing is basically my entire life now, so.
Now, let me tell you a few things about Phil. Just kidding. Now, over the expansion years, I mean, do you have envisions of ever, you know, adding on or rebuilding or adding functions to Claremont Motorsports Park?
Actually, last time I was up here, me and Phil walked the property. You know, 'cause I do commercial real estate, so I'm used to walking the property. I want to get a layout and everything. And I'm used to seeing pieces of land on a blueprint or just a small parcel of land. And Phil's saying, well, way down there, yeah, that's your property too. And way down this hill there, you never use that, that's your property too. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I could put a dirt track there. I could redo the mud box and extend it, and all these things just go into my mind, and like, you know, I'm going 1,000,000 miles an hour, but you know what? Let's turn it back a little bit. Let's see how this year does. But then that, let me just kind of look and see what we could do, what we don't really need to do. But you know, I got Hudson to deal with too. But once that one's done, I am gonna get my hands dirty on Claremont. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but it's something cool.
All right, well, a couple of words popped right into my head. I heard you say dirt track. Now, before I have to run off in the corner and touch myself, what exactly, when you think of dirt track, were you looking like off turn 2 or?
No, I mean it was just a big plot of land that was off, that was actually down by turn, it'd be off of turn 2 down there. And I'm looking at it, and go, oh man, I could definitely put dirt track on that. But I mean that's just a fantasy I had. But I mean, hey, who knows? I mean, no one ever thought that we'd get racing like this. So who knows? You never know.
I love the sounds of it, Toby. I'm gonna have to give you the microphone back just in case I have to leave for a minute.
I knew you would like that. The word dirt track, you love that. You yourself race. When did you get into racing? I mean, at what age? And talk about your progression up through.
I used to race go-karts at used to be Manchester Motor Rome, Londonderry Speedway. I raced that for a couple of years, and then I got out of it. And then I used to do spectator racing at Hudson. And then one day, my dad had a Outlaw car, and he goes, "Well, you want to just practice it at Star?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So, he's like, just warm it up. Don't do anything stupid, just warm it up. Okay, so I'm driving, I'm going, I've been thinking in third gear, just putting around, and oh, hey, temperature's up. Yeah, they don't know that. I put it in fourth, I put it right to the floor, and I'm just doing hot laps around the Star. So my uncle, who's part of the team, he's like, all right. So he takes out a stopwatch and he starts clicking off times, and he looks to my dad and he goes, "Hey, Matt, your son just beat me time by a second." He goes, "I retire. Next season, I was racing."
And you went down to New Smyrna this February, correct?
Yes. Believe it or not, that was actually another car that I stole from my dad, because the plan was that I was going to run Hudson and he was going to run New Smyrna. And he kind of got tired, and he goes, "Well, why don't you do about it?" So I've been running that for a little bit. I think this is my third year, fourth year. But I mean, there's some big competition down there. I'm getting fed to the wolves down there.
Folks, send your questions into Ben, and he'll try to answer them. Steve Bly said he wished all the tracks had the same rules when he was racing, because he would have traveled a lot more back then. Steve was a two-time track champion at Claremont Motorsports Park. Stan, I hope this is loud enough for you, because we're pegged out here. Hopefully you can hear us. It's really loud here tonight. Folks, we apologize for the Wi-Fi too. Keeps hanging up, at least for me. Hopefully you guys are seeing this as a straight stream. A lot of people are watching right now. Steve Lanou, he's one of the Claremont, he works for the Speedway. He says, "Hi Ben, as a family member, one of the previous owners, thank you for keeping racing alive at Claremont Motorsports Park."
Hey, what's going on? Okay. It's my pleasure. I love racing. I was pretty much born into it. So, any track that I can work with, or if I own or whatever, I'm glad to work with them.
Awesome. Tony Quadros, he says, "You think you can get iRacing to scan Claremont and more local tracks?"
I haven't heard that.
Look at the guys in the Brian Town and David Grayson are like, "Yeah, please."
Believe it or not, me and Steve Dickey, who's basically my right-hand man at Hudson, we were talking about it. Last time I heard it's a boatload of money just to scan the track. And if we were to do Claremont and person, I'd like to do all five just so you get a package and everything. I heard it's a lot of money, and I don't think I have enough yet.
I'm sure people would probably chip in a couple of bucks just so they'd have tracks.
Hey, you know what? I mean, if they want to, that'd be great.
GoFundMe.
A GoFundMe page.
So Chris Jackman asked a question. Chris is a former competitor at Claremont Motorsports Park. Any thoughts on Spud Speedway?
If I had a plane, maybe. Because I heard it's like 8 hours to get up there. I mean, the price ain't bad, but I mean, it's 8 hours. I'm all set with that one. Talk to Norm, who knows? Maybe he'll buy that one.
One of the things, everybody goes to a racetrack, everybody has their favorite divisions. It doesn't always have to be the headliner division. When you go to a track that you haven't been to yet, what do you look for? As far as like fun for a division.
You know what? I know on like a lot of people, they follow the big divisions, like the top ones. Which, don't get me wrong, that's nice, but a lot of the smaller guys that they're not the 6-shooters, if you've ever watched those, them guys put on a great show. They don't have a lot of money in their cars, but they just drive the wheels off of them. I mean, they'll come into the corner wide open, completely sideways, and they don't scuff off any speed, and they just keep going. You're scratching your head like, wait a minute, that's not supposed to happen. But okay, I mean, hey, it works.
Now, have you ever been to Thunderdome?
No, I have not. I want to this year though.
They have what we would call an enduro division. They call it the Junkyard Warriors up there. And because of the high banking and the way the wall is, the Widowmaker, they roll over a lot of them. And if you roll your car over, you get a free video. And up there, These guys, if they roll their car, I mean, you're rolling your car over at Claremont, you're mad at somebody. These guys get out and they're jumping up and down. I just wondered if we're going to get free videos if we have rollovers.
I mean, hey, honestly, if someone wants a free video of them rolling over, I'll give it to them. I'll pay for it. I don't care. You know what? You got to remember, the fans are what makes this. And if the fans love it, and the driver's okay with rolling over, if they, I can understand a really expensive car, but they got a, hand car and they roll over, hey, I'll give them the free video.
Now, of all the tracks that you've been to over all the years, what's your favorite one just to go and watch racing?
That's a good question. Believe it or not, Stafford was a nice track to watch racing at. I mean, I was a kid. Oh, geez, I think I was 10, 11 last time I went there. But I just remember the racing was just so good that day. I was cheering on the Dion boys, and that was a good day. I really liked that day. And that was a good track.
Now, when you say the Dions, are you talking about like Dave Dion?
Yep.
Dynamite Dave.
Oh yeah.
I was at Thunder Road in 1975 and we were all 3 segments of the road.
Really?
Yeah. Guy's awesome.
What's your favorite track that you raced at?
Believe it or not, I love New Smyrna. That place, I come to the corner, I go, I'm gonna hit the wall, but let's see if it sticks. And the bank is so steep, and you just drive right into it. It's like, oh, this is awesome. I love that track.
Paul, the 6-shooter class is happening, so the rules right now are on ClaremontMotorsportsPark.com. Know a number of cars that are getting built for that, so it should be a great class. Talk about, you mentioned the 6-shooters again, and for me, they're probably, I went and saw them at Star Speedway last year. I went for the tri-track race, and those guys did put on a hell of a show.
Oh, they put on a great show, and the best part about it is that you don't have to have $1 million in these cars to be competitive. You can find them at any junkyard, if you can ever find a junkyard now, but Craigslist or anything like that, Facebook Marketplace. You can find a car, and all you have to do is put a 4-point case in it, and I don't think you can do much setup to them, but it's a very cheap and it's a very competitive class. Star, I think, had close to 30 of them one race.
Yeah, and you're going to run that division as well at Hudson?
Correct, yes.
So that, a lot of opportunities. I think that's going to be a good for the Claremont Motorsports Park guys that run Friday nights, and then they could choose to run in the Nannock on Saturday or Star, and then Sunday's wide open view. So that hopefully we'll get a number of cars that do both, support Claremont Motorsports Park and Hudson International.
Hey, you know what? That'd be great. Because I know parking's a little tight at Hudson because I'm working on a 12-acre stamp, but it'd be great to see other people from different tracks come and race Hudson.
Talk about some of the improvements you're doing down there when you bought the track. You've owned it. This is your second season, or?
Yes, this is my second season.
And a lot of things, you're doing a lot of good things down there. Andy Hall says that's his favorite track to go, for racing. He did. He said it. So, what's happening down at Hudson?
Well, it was just a lot of small stuff that just kind of added up over the years. The pits were really small just because of just trees. There's this big pine trees that just were bare to get rid of. I got rid of those, added a wall around the track, expanded the pits, putting new bleachers in as we speak. Redoing the tech area because when you come off of Hudson, you make a really sharp right-hand corner. Because last time I checked, no circle track car turns hard right; they always turn hard left. So I moved that, redoing some of the buildings around. So just a lot of small stuff. It just takes time.
Now, down in Hudson Speedway, you've got one of the all-time greats of the Northeast still racing down there, I understand.
Pete Van Dyke, I take it.
The traveling man.
The traveling man.
And he's still doing it.
He still is. Believe it or not, I've raced against him a couple times. And when I first started racing with him, I'm like, okay, he's just kind of in the way there. I found out who he was, and never mind, this guy, he has full-blown Parkinson's, and he still gets in a race car.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He took some new medication, and it's like he just took 20 years, 20 years younger. And I couldn't touch him if I tried. And I was getting pissed because I was, I used to beat him. And I'm like, what the hell? How you used to beat this guy every week? What the hell? And, then come to find out, I go, oh, okay.
Yes, he actually holds a distinction of having an undefeated season at Hudson Speedway. I think it was either the 80s or early 90s.
Yeah.
He won every heat feature for an entire season.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I believe that.
Yep.
I totally believe it.
He's been racing since Moby Dick was a minnow. So, I mean, the guy he knows the track.
Oh yeah, he even said he loves that track. And every time he comes in, I let him in for free. I'm like, all right, Pete, you want to come up to the tower? You can do whatever he wants. And he sits in the corner and he just enjoys it. He just enjoys being there. He doesn't have to watch the race. He just enjoys being at the track. It's great.
Now, who are some of the other great names that are still there? I mean, is Mike Murphy race there?
Good question. I'm trying to remember. I don't think so anymore. No, maybe. I mean, trust me, if you asked me who raced there 2 seconds ago, I probably wouldn't remember anything. But a lot of people got their start there. I believe the Dion boys started there. Dave Dion, Derek Griffith, he got his start there. I'm trying to think. There's a couple other names I'm trying to think of. I can't remember. But a lot of people got their start there and they took off. It's just cool, that I have a track that someone actually they loved it and they just took off. It's just cool.
Well, that track has a lot of history. I mean, I remember back in the days when we used to go to triple enduros on Sunday nights and stuff like that. There was so much history of that track. And Claremont is a lot like that. We have a ton of history for 73 years.
Oh yeah, well, that was actually another reason why I liked Claremont. I go, wow, this track was built almost the same year Hudson was. And it just a lot of the small characteristics of an older track that just newer tracks don't have, and that Claremont has it. And I go, I really like this track. Me and Norm agreed with me. He liked it, and we were just like, okay, we got to get this in our portfolio. We just have to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So, the big question on everybody's mind: which track is next? I have to.
Let me finish with these. Let me just get these two going first, and then we'll talk about another one.
Brian in the back wants to know what's your favorite class of cars to watch race?
Modifieds.
Is it? Yeah.
I like the modifieds a lot, just because where I am, you don't see a lot of them. So when you do see them, it's fun to watch. And the 6-shooters are fun to watch. Actually, the street stocks are really good to watch.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the street stock class this year, at least for Claremont Motorsports Park. Some of the names that are going to be racing this season, it's going to be fantastic. The fact that the Speedway or the park's hosting 2 Battle of Belt races. When is your Battle of Belt race for the street stocks at Hudson? Do you know?
I believe it's when we do the Mighty Mike Lewis, which is in July sometime. And then that's for the street stocks. And then for the 2 mini stocks we're doing, one's on the Don Hayes, which is in June, and the other one is in September. That's the ending, the final race for that.
Yeah, I think the Battle of Belts could be a huge thing, especially with the street stock class. A lot of cars at every speedway for that. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Well, you know what the funny thing is that we're trying to figure out what we can do different that no other track has done. And you think of boxing or UFC, they have a belt. So we're like, why don't we do the belt? And then everyone's like, oh yeah, you get the $100 belts. No, these belts cost us $1,500. Holy the same belts that WWE, same company that WWE uses. So these belts are going to be something you're going to want.
Wow.
Yeah,
My dad's belt only cost a couple of bucks, but I remember it.
Oh, that's a good one. He still gets the imprints from it, probably. Oh, shall we have you warn him about the street stocks? What do we want to warn him about? What? Oh, they'll be fine this year.
That's at every track. Oh boy.
John Hand wants to know, why is there no rookie stock class at Hudson? There's no V8 or V8 class for getting into if you jump from mini stock to street stock. It's a big change.
Well, the only thing is that we didn't want to add so many divisions to cut the main divisions off. So basically in Hudson, our V8 barrels are almost like a cookie class. They're old street stocks that they're so out of date. So I kind of thought, well, if they just do the V8 barrels, it's still an entry level thing. You don't have to do it every weekend to break the bank, and it's a good starter for a V8 class.
Now, at either track, you could have a facility set up to maybe do it on a rating or something.
Believe it or not, we are doing the figure eight this year at Hudson. We're doing one at the Pumpkin Fest. I gotta fix it because there's some big rocks in the middle of that place. I mean, I can leave them there, but I'm pretty sure there'll be no oil pans left.
So the tires down the backstretch are gone, Hudson?
Correct. All the tires off the backstretch are gone. I call those the tire wall of death. That's gone. There's a wall completely around the track.
Wow.
Yep, completely around, and turns 1 and 2. A lot of people were nervous because I told them there's a wall. It was going to be like Lee, where it's right up against the turn. There's a 22-foot runoff of the turn. So if you do come in too hot, which I've never done that. If you come in too hot, you do get a runoff to at least save your car, save yourself.
Yeah, it's. I'll love to go down there on a Sunday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll make a few Sundays down there.
Oh yeah. I think that'll be a good. I've never been to Hudson, so I'm looking forward to going this year.
Well, me too. I know the owner.
Yeah, we can use that as we try to get in there.
Hey, it's all right. I know it's okay. It'll be fine.
Now, you've been egged on a little bit to come out and race at Claremont, and we talked about it last week. You know that as an owner, you didn't think it'd be right, that kind of stuff. But I mean, there'll be a time this year you'll bring a car up and take a couple of hot laps, won't you?
Yeah, I'll probably do a practice or something like that. It's just to me, an owner racing at his own track. I don't know. I just you know what it is that I'd be concentrating on how the track's running, and then as soon as I get out of the car, I'd be going, oh crap, I should have done this while I was in the car. I should have done that. So you got to be one mindset for one thing. So I'd rather just concentrate on the tracks and concentrate on making sure everything running.
So what's your philosophy on the track experience for the fan? I mean, what are you looking for us to try to present, say for Hudson International? What are you looking for the fans to get from us?
Well, you gotta remember, it's a show. As long as there's good, hard racing that no one's wrecking anybody. I mean, don't get it wrong, the fans love a record today. But as long as it's good, hard, neck and neck racing, the fans love it. We changed some things up at Hudson last year, and it worked out great. And there were some good neck and neck races that we actually had to head. Actually, one of my tech guys decided to do this. He goes, "Why don't we do a heads-up race?" So if there was a tie for third or tie for fourth or whatever, we took everyone off the track. We told those guys, "All right, you got 5 laps. Whoever wins this gets that position." And they drove the wheels off their cars to get in that position. And the fans loved it. It was great. Yeah.
Now, what's your opinion on bringing outside venues and like different stuff to the Speedway? Side shows, that kind of thing.
Or like the what's the Doug Danger show, kind of like that, or another division.
I mean, anything, whether it's that or somebody who sets himself on fire and jumps over a car on roller skates, or wet t-shirt contest for women over 70, whatever.
Well, the over 70 thing, I'll leave that up to you. That's fine.
You just pour the water over.
Okay, now I lost my train of thought. I mean, I'm open for anything new to come to the track because, like I said, it's a show, and people do like to see different things. So, if someone wanted to bring in, what was it? There was a show, the Charlie Chipley show, so like that. If someone was still doing that, I'd definitely bring them to the thing. But there's just not a lot of people doing that anymore. So it's kind of hard to find them. But if they were, I'd definitely bring them.
Yeah, I mean, because in the old days, there was a guy named Tricky Travels who actually was on roller skates, and he would come around this way, and a guy would drive that way, and he'd jump over the car.
You're not talking about Hudson. They do that every week.
And it was another guy that bought a jet car and melted a car in the infield.
Well, that's funny because Tony Quadros mentioned that at
Yeah, he remembers back at Lee, they brought a jet funny car in and melted a car down the infield. He said it was an awesome night. Flagpole, Jeff Zeideman said about the flagpole.
That guy, well, so I'll give you an interesting story. So I met Jeff last year, like the beginning of last year, and I needed a race director because I had no idea how to do that. And he's one of the greats. So he's doing all the, comes into the first race and he's doing everything. And I said, all right, well, we're going to do the flagpole. And he looks at me like, what's a flagpole race? I go, Jeff, just watch this. So we pull the tire on the front stretch and these guys are just smashing into each other trying to get that. And he's just like, his jaw's on the floor. He's just like, this is awesome. We need to have more of these. and every time he gets more excited for the flagpole race, and I think the drivers too.
Now you got to explain to everybody what the flagpole race is.
Okay, so what the okay. So what the flagpole race is we put usually a big like tractor tire or a semi tire right in the middle of the front stretch, and they all start on turn 4. We wave the green. We go down the front stretch, around the tire, around the track, and around the tire. Now, some of these guys will be halfway through the tire. Some of these guys will be halfway around the tire, and there'll be a guy coming down the front stretch, and he'll just T-bone. And these guys don't have cages or anything like that. And believe it or not, the guy that puts on the best show at Hudson is Buddy Wilkins. Every time he goes out there, I tell the announcer and say, hey, just tell him the Buddy Wilkins show is here, and everyone goes nuts. Because we got a jump in the middle of the infield. It's not really a jump, it's the dirt that everyone hits. And he took a Durango. This Durango wasn't bad. Like, I would have drove it. Comes wide open off the backstretch and hits this thing. Gotta be doing at least 50. I'm pretty sure he got at least 10 feet of air. Just 10 feet of air, and there he is, sitting like this. Going over, and it was just, it was awesome.
And speaking of Jeff Zeideman, one of the best pro stock racers of our generation.
Oh yeah, just ask him, he'll tell you.
Jeff's awesome.
Zach T, he's a supporter of Claremont Motorsports Park. He owns Fireside Beverage. See, I just gave you a plug there. I expect some money in return for this park.
That's $10.
He'd like to do a craft brew night at the Speedway, which we could probably look at doing something like that.
I mean, the announcers get drunk?
That's different from when?
Oh, okay.
So let me know when you're doing this so I can join in, please.
Norman III says, he says hi, and he says he's making a tire run right now. So.
I know him.
Folks, send your questions in. Mike Robinson said, did Ma Robinson come with the purchase of Hudson Speedway?
Yes, her and the Hennessy triplets, they came with it. They've been there since, I'm pretty sure, the dawn of time. But
we have people like that. You mentioned that what impressed you about Claremont, what you felt was Claremont had a good loyal fan base, a racing town.
yeah, believe it or not, when you first told me to come down here, the week ago or Saturday, and just walking around and just driving through town, you see race cars everywhere. I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. I wish Hudson was more like this. And coming in here, you see the pictures of race cars. You see it's just something like that. They're like, this is cool. This is what racing is about, right here.
A lot of drivers there are heroes. Someone here was saying how we do autograph sessions at Claremont Motorsports Park pretty much every other week, and we're gonna do a lot more this year. We got the Grand State Pro Stocks do one with us. The Tour, the Open, the Tri-Track is gonna do a autograph session, which we try to get the kids in front of the drivers with the kids, and it's a huge thing for them, and that's the kind of experience I think we want to provide here, and I think you support that as well.
Oh, exactly. I'm 100% for that. We do it every once in a while at Hudson, but usually the drivers are like, no, we just want to race. We just want to race. And I try to tell them, no, you gotta, just wave to the crowd, wait, and a lot of guys do like it.
Yeah. Scott Adams wants to know when you're gonna have a mod race at Hudson.
Not this year, but possibly next year. We're going to see how it does here at Claremont. From what I've heard, it is going to be huge, which I can't wait for. And And if it gets big, and we'll ask them. I'm the type of guy that will ask the driver, hey, what do you think of this, or what do you think of that? A lot of them complain about the rules, but that's just whatever. But if those guys are willing, they want to go to Hudson, I'll give them a race.
Now, are you talking like the Tri-Track series, or are you talking a sportsman mod race?
I think it's a sportsman mod race. Tri-Track wants way too much money. I can't afford that right now.
Well, I'm going to let that one go. Never mind.
Come on.
Well, we were worried about that too last year, but it turns out that the Tri-Track race does you pretty well.
Yeah, I believe that, but the only problem with Hudson is I'm very limited on parking. I have no parking. I mean, just my regular shows, I overflow my parking lot, which I'm not complaining, but when I have like the Granite State guys show up and all that stuff, and I actually have to rent another piece of property now just for parking because the town kind of complained on me this year, but I got to rent another piece of property and shuttle them in just to, just for safety's sake and stuff like that. Because a lot of people park on the side of the road. It's a very narrow road. And I just don't want to see them get hurt. So the town doesn't want to see anybody get hurt either. So.
All right. Now the next question: when you're out there racing, who's your personal all-time nemesis to race against? Is that many? Huh?
Well, okay. If me and Steve Dickey are out on the same track, now we've only done go-karting. We wreck the carts. They tell us don't come back. So I know he races for me. He drives a 12 street stock, and I'm actually building one myself this year. If me and him go out on the track, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have 2 junk cars. It's gonna happen. I know it is, but you know what? Racing's fun, and you know what? If I make good memories out of it, that's a win for me.
Absolutely. Now, who's the one driver that you're not afraid to run door handle with 20 laps and not worry about getting wrapped?
Believe it or not, Kevin kept that. I ran a few. I think I ran probably 6 or 7 door to door with him, and super clean driver. And we still rubs a little bit, but nothing like hold on, give him a nice quick little whack on the right or whatever. It was real clean driver, and I'm not afraid to get on the side of him.
Now, there's a question everybody wants to hear, and I know we shouldn't be bringing it up, but I'm the kind of guy that brings up the things I'm not supposed to bring up. The rumor is that Claremont will be a NASCAR track by 2019 when the season rolls around.
That is correct. Right now, I'm filling out the paperwork. Actually, it's in my truck. I'm filling out the paperwork now. It's the final stage of it. Hudson is now officially NASCAR sanctioned. I already got the paperwork for that. I'm just waiting for the promoters package to come in. Once I send over the paperwork, Claremont's NASCAR.
All right. Now, to the Cup Series. Who's your favorite driver?
I actually don't have one.
Oh.
Yeah, I really don't have one. Actually,
Did you ever have one?
Not really, no. No, you know the funny thing is that I actually don't watch the Cup Series at all. I think it's boring.
Well, I'm the same way. I haven't watched it in years, but the only reason I click on the ESPN so I can get on Facebook and tick off everybody whose favorite driver didn't win.
Yeah, you poke the panda a little bit,
Just a little bit. I've been known to do that.
Yes, you have. Brian, his son's going to race in go-karts this year. He wants to know if you plan on attending any go-kart races. And then what do you think about that aspect of the track?
Believe it or not, I think it's great that, it's got a go-kart track in the middle. I'm probably, because they race Sundays, so I can't be there all the time, but I will show up, when I don't have race days, because I made the schedule, so I at least have one Sunday off a month. I'll probably go up there and I'll watch and bring back memories of me and my dad racing together and him screaming at me and all that stuff. But hey, whatever, it's still the same today. So, but no, I think it's a great aspect. Actually, I honestly think every racetrack should have a go-kart track. Because in my eyes, what I think is a kid is racing on the go-kart track and he looks and he goes, "I want to race there." Just an extra motivator for a kid to go from the small track to the big track.
Yeah, last year we had a couple years ago they raced on the infield on their track on a big night on a Friday night. Unfortunately, when we did the second race, it was later in the year and it started getting dark and they couldn't see and there was a shit show and basically there was a ton of wrecks. So after that, we stopped doing go-kart races. But last year they came onto the track, everyone was there. It was a great thing for them. Everyone got announced, all the kids and the fans loved it. It's good just to see the future generation of drivers.
Oh, exactly. And we need more future drivers because, you know, we need to grow the sport more and more and more. Because, you know, a lot of people, they're stuck on their phones and they're stuck playing video games. Like, no, go out and do the real thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like iRacing, but it's not the same as the real thing. And that's why we gotta get more people to the track, see it. I want to try that. Get them in an enduro car, get them in a 6-shooter or something, and they'll be hooked.
That's right. You get checkered blood.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking for the enduros. We're doing 4 or 5 of them this year at the Speedway. How many do you? I mean, you have a couple down at Hudson, don't you?
Yeah, I got a decent amount. I separated them out. Usually we have the Grand Enduros, which are V8s. I started doing 6-cylinder Enduros, because a lot of those, and the typical 4-cylinder Enduros. I got a decent amount, but I don't remember how many off the top of my head. I got a good amount.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to making my racing debut. I just hope I make it 1 lap. Jimmy Zulo already said that I can pit. If I have to pit, they'll be ready for me up there for him.
I hope so. You know, I kind of thought Jimmy would be here tonight. And, you know, here's the thing. I mean, at the beginning of our Facebook Live show, we had Mikey Griggs and Jimmy Zulo looking like identical twin cousins. Mikey went and shaved him all down, all down to look like a pedophile, so he wouldn't look like Zulo anymore. And now all we gotta do is get Zulo to quit wearing that Jimmy Ocasio-Cortez shirt, and maybe we'll get Jimmy straightened out just a little bit. You know the one that I know he's got that "I Love Hillary" tattoo. So if we can just get those two straightened out, we think it's pretty good up there.
I'll tag him in this so he'll say, look at it about minute 42 of the show. George has a personal message for you. Folks, send your questions in. We got Ben here. He'll be glad to answer them for you. I mean, what improvements, do you think? You watched the property, you said. Immediate improvements. Are there any needed at Claremont, do you think?
Believe it or not, not really. Phil, Jim Ambrose, they kept that track in great shape. There's really not much to happen. There's a couple little things, but nothing real serious. It's kind of nice.
It is a great place to watch a race too, because you're sitting up high. The beer garden at the Motorsports Park I spent some time there on Labor Day weekend race because I didn't have to work, and that's a great place to watch a race too. Do you have a beer garden in Hudson?
No, we don't. I'd like to get one there someday, but that's in the future for now. So basically, I just want to kind of get the track a little more updated, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we're trying to get ours moved up into the announcer's tower, but we just haven't had any luck so far. No, I forgot to give my buddy Griggsy a pat on the back. Have you seen the 300 pictures a week he's putting on of his dogs? Pictures on Facebook? Isn't that a lot better than the selfies he was printing 10 a day? I'd much rather look at the dogs than him, even the backside of the dogs. So thank you for that, Mikey.
Heather Carley, her husband, Jim races.
Her husband Jim races in the pure stocks. He says, can the women get a 4-cylinder class next year? I don't want to race against my husband and have him take me out.
That's
or any other
girls
guys.
can't drive.
Oh, there it is. The first customary girls can't drive. Then we'll get complaints. Thanks a lot.
That's why they're so good at mud bogs, because we used to run in the ditch anyway.
Oh, geez.
Nancy Goodwin says, good job, Ben.
Oh, thanks, Nancy. I appreciate it.
Oh, Heather says, ouch. Yeah, Tony, the plan is, folks, we need to invite our friends. So if you bring a friend who's never been on the track or someone who hasn't been there in a long time, that's the key, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What's your pricing structure down at Hudson?
Our pricing structure is basically it's $12 to get in for the basic grandstands. If you're a veteran, it's 10, and I believe it's anyone 10 and younger getting free.
So we should do a field trip with a bunch of Claremont fans to go down there to Hudson, pick a weekend and say, like a Claremont discount day or something like that down there to we'll talk about it. We should do the same for Hudson too.
You don't do bus races. I mean, you know, you do is bring around the tracks, not racing. The fans go nuts.
Well, with the NASCAR licensing, we'll have better insurance, so we may be able to do something a little exciting like that. I mean, thrill shows. You mentioned that too. What's your thoughts? So you said you did spectator drags. What do you think about those?
Those are always fun. I mean, I basically had a box body Mustang with a built V8 in it, and what I used to do was I used to take my dad's old outlaw tires off because he'd have the right stagger, and I just put them on the car. So everyone's running on street tires, and I got full race slicks. And everyone's like, "How are you winning?" And I'm like, kind of standing over the tire. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not supposed to be that good.
I think the spectator drags should go in opposite directions.
Believe it or not, they had that once at Hudson, and the guys hit head on.
Yes,
the guy had a back out in the middle.
Yes.
So,
I remember reading about that.
yeah, it's not too bad.
Stan Janowski, who was a guest a couple weeks ago for us, I mean, actually was a guest panelist for us. He has is my job of quality control of Miller Lite and the beer garden still available? Yes, Stan, that is still available for you, and that's the only reason why we stock Miller Lite at the beer garden.
Yeah, because we don't drink Miller Lite anyway.
Tony says should have local tracks do field trips to the track. I know Claremont last year we did have summer camp come up on one day. It was awesome. Dave Lescourt and Tyler and Dave's mother did a bunch of stuff with the kids. Dave Greenslit, Brianna Acusis, Kenny Thompson were there with their cars.
Yourself.
Yeah, it was, and we gave pace car rides, and it was a good thing. And that's the kind of stuff we need to do to keep short track racing. Get these young kids, around.
Cool. They brought the kids up, and they yelled by them setting the race car and showed them how to change the tires. And they took them around the track too, didn't you? With the pace car. Yeah, that's
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I know what Star used to do was they used to have. A lot of the smaller divisions don't have full interior tints. They keep the car in first gear, they let a kid hop in and just go around the track slow. Bear in mind, they're not going fast. But the kids loved it because they were in a race car going around the track. And I think if every track does that, you're gonna get a new race fan. And that's what we need.
Justin wants to know, will there be any flagpole races at Claremont in the future?
I'll leave that up to Phil because he's not used to seeing the carnage that goes along with it. And I can see him just going up the class going, no.
We'll have to go down when they do them down at Hudson, because I want to see what it's all about.
It's awesome. I've never seen it live. I've seen it on video. It's awesome. Some people just don't care.
Buddy Wilkins is one of them.
So folks, send your questions in. We've got a couple more minutes here. I mean, you're going to be busy this year with the two tracks. I mean, you said you'll come up to Claremont opening night probably for the Grand State Pro Stock Series.
Yep, I'll definitely be there opening night.
And then you'll probably come up you're not running the Labor Day weekend while we have the race here, correct?
No. I'll be running Monday, I believe. Or you guys will be running Sunday.
There's an advantage for you to be the only track that runs on Sunday in the NHSTRA.
Yes, that was. That's kind of a nice little thing. But Hudson's always run Sunday since the dawn of time. It is nice because a lot of people that just meet them. I look at it this way: if someone blows up on a Friday or a Saturday and they just want to do a shakedown, Hudson's the perfect track for that. So it's a nice filler track, or and trust me, people that race that track, they want to come back. I got guys from Maine I raced there. I'm gonna race there this year. They show up and I'm coming back. I'm racing here full time. It's like, that's great.
When all of you met to discuss the NHSTRA, I mean, what were the rules were a big thing you talked about. A lot of stuff carried over from track to track. A lot of the same stuff. So I mean, basically, if you get thrown out of one track, it's thanks for playing. I'm just guessing anyway, but you're not going to be at the others. But payouts, things of that nature. I mean, there's a lot of continuity between all the tracks.
Oh yeah, I mean, the payout's going to be a little different from track to track. Entry level, basically getting in is going to be a little different. But I mean, if you do something blatantly wrong at one track and you're thinking, oh well, I'm just gonna go to the other track and do it. No. We're getting to the point where we're talking to each other, we're figuring out who did what and all that. I mean, it's not all bad things. You know, say, hey, you know, this guy did this or this guy did that. Okay, well, I'll watch out for him, whatever, no big deal. But it's just a communication thing that the tracks have been moving for a long time.
So in other words, if you do something blatant, you basically got to paint the car and change your name to go to one of the other tracks.
Not that extensive, but I mean, if you want to, I mean, hey, you just have to pay another registration fee, I guess. But
Now, you know, you were talking about the uniqueness of running Sundays. Does either Start and Adlock have a Sunday rain date if they get rained out Saturday night?
I believe Star does a couple times for his real big shows. I think I think Pass is shown out on Tri-Track, the Tri-Track. So like if they have a rain out, they go on Sundays.
But just for the big shows.
Just for the big shows.
So they're not going to hurt you out on
No.
It's
And
not going to rain this year anyway. No rain whatsoever.
rains are urban
fortunate
myth.
last year.
I think we're the only track in it.
Yeah.
I had one.
We're the only track in the Northeast that did not have a rain. That's the rumor, yeah. We're the only track that did not have a rain. There was a couple times we had to reschedule the Saturday night.
Yep. Opening night?
Yep. But other than that, we never had a rain. We've got our full 21-week reschedule.
Please bring this luck. Continue the luck to this year.
Absolutely.
This Tri-Track night. I want Tri-Track night to be here.
It did turn out to be a good day for Tri-Track, but in the morning, iffy.
So you'll be up here for the Tri-Track race, won't you? Yes. Yeah. So we'll see Ben around Claremont Motorsports Park more times. I think that he knows he's going to be up here.
I'll probably be up here more often than I think.
Yeah, we'll find somebody. Hey, man, you gotta come up. We gotta come up. Something's wrong. You'd be like, "What's the matter?"
The track is round.
Yeah.
The track is round or something like that. Say, oh, okay, cool. I might as well stay here and watch the races.
So, folks, I think we'll close now. We'll let Ben be able to drive back. He's got the 2-hour drive to head south. Ben, we want to thank you for being here very, very much. I think it's great. You got closing comments for the fans?
And you know what? Just support your local short track, you know? I mean, they're not making any more of these things, so one closes up, that's one that will not get back.
Ben, it was great meeting you, and I hope we're gonna have a lot of fun together in the years to come.
Oh, we will. We'll have fun. I know we will.
So, folks, we're going to be back here next Thursday night here at Daddy's Pizza, Claremont, New Hampshire, 50 Pleasant Street. 3 drivers will be here next week. We have Jim Carley, Kyle Templeton, and then Jeremy Blood is going to be here to talk 6-shooters. So 3 drivers next week. So be here down here at Daddy's Pizza. Come meet them in person or watch us on Facebook Live, 6 p.m. next Thursday night. Folks, thanks again for watching us tonight. Ben, thanks again for being here. George, as always, my friend. Opening day for baseball. That's why I'm wearing my Twins outfit. I'm dying here. I want to know how they did today. So there was 0-0 when we started the show. I don't know. So, folks, we'll see you here next Thursday night. Thanks a lot.